about good right there. And we're out here at Pere Marquette Park in St. Genevieve, and with me we have Bill Pruno. He's with the local ham radio club, the DOERS. And Bill, good to see you. And tell me about what all this equipment you have out here. You got some towers, you got some radio equipment.
Yes, we're set up for field day 99 here, and as you can see, we have a few antennas up that help us make contact with stations all around the country. And there will probably be some foreign contacts too. It reaches around the world, but mostly it's for states and emergency preparedness. That's really what the name of the game is. And this is an exercise in like a disaster or something of that nature takes place, why we can come out and operate and make contact and relay messages and so on. For Red Cross or whoever we have in the past. And,
so basically you take the gear that you have at home and you go outside where you can,
yes.
Now in an actual emergency, would you have to go outside to a central location like this, or would you be able to operate from your home, or how would you handle that?
Well, we can do it from the home location as well as going out in the field. All we need is a generator, or for that matter, we can use batteries because the equipment is 12 volts. And we can operate it off of a car battery or a generator, mobile generator, whatever. And it doesn't take a lot of power to do it. And we can talk. Most of these radios are about 100 watts out, so they'll cover the states real well and with a lot of reliability. But
I think if most people stop to think about it, a lot of times after an earthquake or other disaster, you know, in some other part of the world, the first reports we get out of those sites are from ham radio operators.
This is true. If you remember a few years ago, Mexico City had that huge earthquake. Ham radio is actually what got the word out because everything else was down. It just destroyed all their communications, and amateur radio is what got the word out and got help for them. So it certainly is a big help in times of crisis like that.
Okay, Bill, we're going to ask you to kind of take us on a little tour of what you have set up here at the Pere Marquette Park and explain a little bit about what people are seeing.
Okay, well, just over here we have the generator that we're operating with. It's not a big site. If you care to take a look at it, it's over the hill. And we put it down here in this little hollow to kind of keep the noise down. So it runs pretty quiet down here. It doesn't take much of a generator to do this. That's a new piece of equipment for this year.
You can also operate off, say, someone's car battery.
Certainly, sure can.
And
most of these fellows have mobile radios right in their cars, and it works out really well. You'd be surprised with a mobile rig in your car, you can talk around the world, and it's no problem at all. But
that is fascinating. So if there was an earthquake or other disaster that wiped out the normal communications, the phones, the whatever satellite uplinks, etc., somebody could just walk out to their car, be on the air, and say, here's what we've got in St. Genevieve.
This is very true. This is very true. And like we have FM communications in the car as well as HF high frequency communication. Not everyone has the high frequency, but those that just have the FM capabilities, there are repeaters all around this location. Most all small communities have repeaters around that we can access, and this gives us out of the car in the FM mode probably a 200 to 300 mile range, so it really works well. And as the repeaters come online, more of them, we're pretty well assured to have communications wherever we're at, even on the FM mode.
Okay, let's take a look what you have set up here.
Okay. Well, here we are at the operating station, one of them, and these fellows are making contact now all around the country, and we were trying to see how many contacts. I mean, they kind of make a contest out of it, so the more contests you make for contacts, why you get a higher score and get a feather in your hat, as it were. But he's operating on the 20-meter band, as it's called, and this is one of the newer solid-state rigs that do a great job. Very compact. They don't take up a lot of room. Piece of equipment here is the antenna rotor. This thing will move our antenna any direction of the compass, and so we can have better communications in a certain direction. If you want to talk to the north, why you can move the antenna around and it will beam the signal in greater strength that way, and it'll also receive it better, so you can hear better as well. And it's a pretty important piece of equipment for this type of operation. You can make more contacts that way.
Exactly.
Kind of isolate some of the other signals that are to the sides of it, or isolated away from it a little bit. And then we have a computer over here that we're logging on. As the contacts are made, they're entered in a computer, and then as we're into this thing several hours, you kind of forget who you've talked to, and these guys are still out there, so they'll make a contact, or you contact them again. Well, you can't contact them twice for any kind of score, so you've doubled with that contact, so they call it a dupe. And we'll know instantly whether we have contacted them before or not. So that really aids us a lot. And when it's done, we have all the information right in there. All the records are right there when we're done. So it's really a helpful tool. It saves a lot of paperwork. So it takes two to do the job. The one fellow has to operate and the other one has to log. It's pretty difficult to do for just one person to do that.
Yeah.
But it works out real well. A little farther over this way, we have an APRS system set up. It's a satellite. I'm not really too much familiar with it, but the fellows use it, and you can find any location you want to if you're out mobile. You can find out just exactly where your position is and where you're going at every turn. You want to go to Chester, Illinois, it'll map the thing out and tell you just when to turn. So that's really a neat thing. And they're finding more uses all the time for that. It's more or less a tool just for demonstration up there than anything else.
All right.
Okay.
What do we have here?
All right, this is 6 meters. What he's operating here, and this frequency is it's really neat. It's a frequency that's not real reliable all the time, but when the atmospheric conditions are right, it's a very good band to work, and you can talk long distances with it. Normally, it's line of sight though. It's sort of like FM, and you just you can talk from here downtown pretty well, but really long distances aren't that great on it until the band gets to working properly. The atmospherics have to be right. But it's a fun band to work, and boy, when it's in there, you can talk all over the country with it. And this system here that's for the 2-meter band, which is VHF, and it's sort of has the same conditions. When there are band openings occur, such as yesterday morning there was a band opening, and boy, it was talking all over the place. Heard signals coming in everywhere, repeaters just flooding in from all over the place. So it's a lot of fun too, but most generally it's local communications, and we use it for that and repeater operations too. So there's a lot of uses though. For instance, a couple years ago in '93 when we had the floods, we used this system to relay messages for the Red Cross between here and Cape Girardeau. Cool. And we did that during the flood times, which was really helpful for them, and they had their main headquarters down there, and we moved a lot of messages for them, so that was really neat. And that's a mode that we can use with a lot of reliability, so it's pretty good. And we have the antennas out here for these systems, if you'd like to take a look.
Okay, we've got the antennas. Let's take a look at them.
Okay, this is a 2-meter antenna. It's nothing more than a straight pole. And and that's really all we need for 2-meter operation. It comes in various wavelengths. This is a 5/8 wave here, but if we were using this system in our cars, most fellas use a 1/4 wave, which is only 19 inches long. Real small, fits on the car well, no problem with the garage.
Okay.
And then over this way, this antenna here is for the 6-meter bands. Now this is a beam antenna. This antenna will reflect the signal in one direction more than anywhere else. As opposed to this type antenna we just saw, that's omnidirectional. It transmits in all directions. This one transmits mostly, that's the back of it, looks like the diamond. It transmits, that's the reflector. It'll transmit the beam signal whichever way you have that pointed. That's kind of the way that works. So it really works well. And as I said before, the antennas are real important things with these things. And when signals are kind of coming in weak, you can direct that antenna around and you can find them a lot better.
Okay.
So you get gain out of the antenna too.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
And I see we've got a little one right up here. Another beam antenna.
That's a beam. That's a 2-meter beam there. So we can use that when we have a signal out there in the distance. It's kind of weak. It will, with all the elements on it, that gives it more gain. The more elements you have, the more gain you have in the antenna. So we put it up for some weak contacts.
Okay.
Okay. And on the other end of the building down here, we're preparing some hamburgers and whatever they're grilling them, and getting ready to have a little bite to eat here after a while. So that's always part of the field day. You got to have a few good things to eat. It makes for the camaraderie is a lot better.
Yeah.
But our operation is a little smaller this year. We used to run more radios, but some of the members are tied up. They can't be with us this time, so as a result, why we're operating 1A this year, and as opposed to 3A in the past. So we're a couple radios short.
Okay.
But that's okay. We'll get more rest doing it like that.
All right.
So,
well, Bill, it all sounds very, very fascinating. How does one become a amateur radio operator?
okay, well, we're licensed by the Federal Communications Agency, and it's not a real tough thing. You do have to study and take a test, depending on what grade license that you would like to attain. It goes from a novice to a tech to advanced, extra, and there's also a general in there. But there is some study required, but today there are a lot of study guides available. It's not real hard at all. I mean, people take the time to do it, and it's real rewarding. And when a person thinks they're ready to test, we give the tests. It used to be that you'd have to go to St. Louis or Kansas City to take the test, but these days they've allowed the amateurs themselves to provide that service. So we can do it locally. Now it takes, if you're just a beginner, you might want to get a novice license. That'll get you on the air, but you do have to have a code requirement, so you have to learn not only the code, but you have to learn some of the theory. Or you can get a no-code tech license, which does not require code, but you just take the novice test and the technician test, and you're a no-code test, and it gives you all the advantages on the VHF bands, which is quite a lot. That's what this 6-meter is. So, from that point, that's what most people are doing these days. They're getting the no-code license and real happy with it. And if they're so inclined, they'll go ahead and study for the rest of it, which is most rewarding.
How expensive is the equipment? You've shown us quite a variety of equipment. I think many people have the idea of ham radio operators building their own equipment, but these days most of them, I would imagine, are purchasing their equipment.
That's true. That's very true. It can be. It's like a lot of hobbies. You can buy used equipment to start with. There's all kinds of it out there for sale, and you can start from, let's say, $50 for a radio on up. Some of the radios that are the most average price is around $1,000 for a good radio, which sounds like a lot of money, but the thing of it, when you buy a radio, that thing will work for 20 years, you know, with no problem, as opposed to some other hobbies that you know, you put a lot of money into it and it's very seasonal. This is year-round, and you can have a lot of fun with it. Very reliable. But I guess it's hard to sum up to say just exactly what the hobby would cost you, because it's such a varied thing, and it's just, the sky's the limit. And people are getting into a lot of computer operation too, which they're using their computers, tying them in with the radio. That gives us another mode, such as it's called packet radio. So people that like computers can join the two together and just have a whale of a lot of fun. But I guess it's each individual's own choice as to how far they want to go with it. But it's not really all that expensive from a standpoint of other hobbies.
Okay.
I guess we'll have to sum it up like that.
Bill, I appreciate your time.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming out.
Okay.
You know, it's a shame, because that was really I think a person felt like they really got into it when they built something and they go with it.
We're rolling. There she is, the cook. Hi, Margie. How you doing?
Just fine, thank you.
Tell the folks out there what you're doing today.
Oh, I'm having a good old time at the park and cooking for the Amateur Radio Club. We're just enjoying it.
Okay, very good. A lot of people out here like to get fed, huh?
Right, we have a good crowd and I'm enjoying it.
All righty.